Hey guys, what's going on? It's Filmington, and I've said this in previous episodes. I love and I truly believe in the emergence of the Topps flagship brand. But what we've seen over the last week has been unprecedented. It's been remarkable, something I haven't seen in the many years that I've been collecting in the preseason for baseball. Just the massive price spikes that we've seen across key players, Acuna, Trout, Yelich, and most recently Bellinger. Nothing short of insane, to be honest. And that's what we're going to talk about in today's episode. And to be a little bit more specific, Ronald Acuna, PSA 10s, his base card in 2018 Topps Update, is selling for between $166 to $190 on eBay right now. And this was $70 to $80 back in January. Mike Trout is now around $1,700 to $1,800. His update rookie card in PSA 10 was closer to $1,100 back in January. Christian Yelich is now selling for between $150 to $214. His card was between $90 to $100 back in January. And then most recently, Cody Bellinger, 2017 Topps Update in the PSA 10, $200 to $225. It was only $50 back in January. This is up more than 4 times, and honestly, it's probably about triple where it was 3 weeks ago. So what's happening? We're going to talk about that in today's episode. And this is a phenomenon that has mostly affected Topps flagship cards, and that's important to note, and mostly the base cards, actually. So we're not talking Bowman Chrome, we're not talking Topps Chrome or Topps Heritage, and again, we're not even talking about the Topps flagship cards that are more rare, the parallels, the short prints. We haven't seen those same price increases hit those cards. You know, and there's also some Topps flagship and update rookies of younger players or more exciting players like Alex Bregman, Rafael Devers, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman. We haven't seen those same increases across those guys. Why not? Well, you might say, Filmington, well, those guys, you know, they don't have the upside. They're a little bit older. Maybe they're not in the right market. Okay, I get it. But, you know, why aren't we seeing the same Acuna, Trout, Yelich, Bellinger type increases across other products like Topps Chrome, Topps Heritage, Bowman Chrome? I mean, we've seen some of that. With Cody Bellinger, the HMT 10 Topps Chrome update card has begun to react a little bit with a ripple effect because I think some people are seeing that as potentially more rare. But then you have other Topps update cards like the golds, the blacks, and these historically have always had prices that have been anchored to some extent from the base. So there's always been some sort of a multiplier. But we haven't seen much price increases with those cards, and I think, you know, we're dealing with limited sales data and there's going to be fewer of those out there. So maybe that happens in time. Looking back at the years of 2011 to 2014 or so, usually we would see about a ×3 to ×5 multiplier from an equivalent base rookie card to an equivalent gold rookie card. Now, over time, that multiplier has actually increased. And the reason for that is because the print runs on the base are increasing, but the golds have stayed static. So that relative supply has actually gotten wider over time between the base and the gold. So between 2017 and most lately 2019, where we have a decent enough sample size to look at PSA 10 golds, you're looking at a multiplier about ×10 from the base rookie card to the gold rookie card, whether it's a PSA 9, PSA 10, or even a raw one. And the 10 times multiplier is for the most recent. You might be seeing multipliers closer to 7 or 8 for 2017 and somewhere in between for 2018, I'm guessing. If a PSA 10 Cody Bellinger base is selling for about $200 now, then that means that the gold PSA 10 Topps Update card has got to be selling for well above $1,000. So we'll see if that sticks. A few more points. If the PSA 10s are increasing for those key rookie cards, Acuna, Trout, Yelich, and Bellinger, then what about the PSA 9s? What about the raw cards? We're not seeing that same growth. What about the underlying products that these cards are in? 2013 Topps Update. It's got the Yelich, right? Not the only card in there, but it's the biggest card in there right now. And a hobby box of that, you could get it for $250 to $260 back in November. Guess what? I just bought a whole case yesterday. I didn't pay more than $265. Maybe it was $268 shipped. I don't know what the hell's going on, guys. In addition to this, PSA came out with their most popular list of the players that were being submitted back in December, November. They published that maybe on a quarterly basis. Guess who was on that list? You got to think that million card backlog. There's going to be a lot more PSA 10 Acuna's hitting the market. But I would argue that the biggest fake news right now is Cody Bellinger's PSA 10 prices. Again, we talked about the 4-time spike. I know that he's had a very impressive career. He's got a 15.4 career WAR, about 111 career home runs. He's 24 years old. He's already had 2 seasons with 39 plus home runs. Just won an MVP. Already won a Rookie of the Year. Almost won an MVP twice. But what about his Bowman Chrome autograph? Has that moved? That's also a Holy Grail card. I would argue that it's got more of a known quantity than the PSA 10 base. So what about that? What about Topps Heritage Action? $200 card right now. It was $200, 2-3 weeks ago. 4, 5, 6 weeks ago as well. Gary V, he can be attributed to the recent Cody Bellinger price increases, and he's a brilliant entrepreneur, very smart guy, I'm sure. Gary V is really just one person with one opinion that isn't any more intelligent than me or the next guy or the next guy after that. I know there's a ton of collectors and investors getting into the hobby. I know that people like Gary V, Phil Hughes have definitely caused that, and it's not truly a coincidence. But I'm not buying into these prices, this parabolic movement, especially the Bellinger, and I think we're definitely going to see a plateau at some point sooner rather than later. I know it's March, I know baseball is heating up, but come on guys, it's like the 3rd most popular sport in America. And despite all this bashing, or what seems to be bashing, of Topps flagship base cards and PSA 10s, I do acknowledge that there will probably be some new normals, some new support levels of these prices. I don't think we're ever going to see the prices of January, even February ever again for any of these cards. What I think, and this is all my opinion, but I could see plateaus for these cards, whether it settles down in late March, early April, or sometime later in the year. Acuna, I think we could see $140 to $150. I think with Bellinger, I think his Topps Update PSA 10 card rookie might settle in around 110, maybe 120. Yelich, I could see around $140, plus or minus 15 maybe. In Trout, who the hell knows? But I could see that coming back down to 1,500. I mean, that's got a big PSA pop, so we're still talking a near-term appreciation of about 40% on that card, which is very good. And it's actually in line with some of his other rookie cards. Now let's talk about another card that's moved a lot recently, one that you guys are probably curious to hear about. That's the 2018 Topps Series 2 Ronald Acuna short print bat down in a PSA 10. It just broke $2,000 or hit $2,000 for the first time yesterday. This is a card that was $400 back in July, $200 in the preseason. Before last season, it was probably $850 to $1,000 in November to December, and now it has escalated quite quickly to $2,000. This is a card I'm less bearish on. My overall sentiment is positive about this card. It's a Holy Grail type card. It's one that's sought after by not just collectors, but investors as well. Despite what Blowout Forum said, where they predict 20,000 copies of that card, that it's not actually very rare. The PSA population report, which I just checked this morning, is still well under 1,000 for a PSA 10. And just like any other flagship card that was put out in 2018, you're expecting a gem rate of at least 40 to 50%. In most cases, it's 70%. There could be some pop control there, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's been almost 2 years since that product came out. So why the hell is the PSA pop so low? I don't get it. I always thought that the print run should be and is closer to 10,000. We'll see. Maybe there's a whole lot of sealed product left. I mean, I haven't been able to find it. I am on DealerNet, and it doesn't come up all too often. And this is a card that's been actually found kind of frequently in retail, so it is in retail as well. Just because that Blowout alleges that there are 20,000 copies of it doesn't mean that they're saying there are 20,000 cases between hobby and jumbo. And I do believe that it's possible to get more than one of the Acuna and the Gleyber in a case. So I don't know. It's kind of mystifying to me. Next, Juan Soto. How come everybody else is increasing? He's like the hottest guy under 23 that hasn't seen his prices spike like the rest of them. I think it's because people can't come to a consensus on the best card between the Topps Update and the Topps Chrome Update. Topps Update, not as easy to gem. Classic Topps flagship card. Topps Chrome Update, maybe more aesthetically appealing, not by much, by a little. Easier to gem, but there's a lot less in circulation. So this is something that I think there's a parallel with the Ronald Acuna rookie with his Topps Chrome and Topps Chrome Update. I think because, you know, Topps Chrome Update there's less of, but Topps Chrome came first and they both gem easy, and you know, those are kind of here. I think the Topps Chrome will eventually win, but I think with Juan Soto, the Topps Chrome Update and the regular Topps flagship, I think it's going to be a battle that's going to take longer to solve. So that would be my reasoning there. Probably not perfect. You could also argue that Juan Soto has a hell of a lot less rookies than Acuna from that year. Something that people, collectors, investors probably don't realize yet. So maybe both those cards have upside. So what are the prudent moves that you could make in this environment? Well, something you could do, probably easier said than actually executed, but you could wait till the season starts. Okay, so we're in a situation right now where we're seeing parabolic and asymmetrical growth across key players, even within that player. Even within that card, you're seeing different return patterns, which don't really make sense, right? It's somewhat irrational, or I would say very irrational. So waiting till the season starts where players' performance and cards' performance are more contingent on baseball activity. That's usually what drives modern baseball card performance, is baseball activity, their actual performance in the games. Maybe that would be a safer bet. And guess what? Since performance affects value, there's going to be roughly 50% of players that underperform in April. Maybe not 50% of the guys you collect. Maybe it's closer to 10 or 20% because we're all keen on who we collect. And market interest tells us to only collect the top 5 or 10 best guys. So we're going to collect the guys that have the best shot of being successful, right? Or that have the highest ceiling or upside. But the earnest reality of the matter is that not all the players that you collect are going to do well in April. Not all the players that you're seeking out are going to do well in April. I'm actually going to be publishing a video coming up in the next probably week where I talk about some of my bold predictions of 2020. Within that, I'll talk about a couple players that I don't think are going to succeed, at least in the short term, at least in April and May. So we'll talk about those players. It doesn't mean I don't think they'll have great careers or even great seasons. I just think that they're not going to do well, and I think their card values are going to take a hit. And I think that sort of hit will affect other players and maybe drive up the value of other players. So how else can you be prudent in today's environment? If holding out till preseason's over doesn't work for you, it's not going to work for me. I'm too impatient for that. I mean, you could buy other cards. You could buy other cards that you find are undervalued, like I did. How about that? But if we're going to stick to those 4 players, we talked about the asymmetrical price trending. A guy like Ronald Acuna, golds, even his rainbow parallel. I'd prefer the ones that are numbered, like the golds, the blacks. Maybe the less original parallels as well, Mother's Day, Father's Day. Basically, what you don't want to do is you don't want to pay that same premium as what we've seen across the base update. So if the base update, in Acuna's example, has basically doubled since January, if you can get, pay 10% more than January's prices for any of these other cards, and it doesn't have to be Topps Update. It could be maybe Topps Heritage, maybe it's Topps Chrome, maybe it's Topps Chrome Update. Not all of those cards would I recommend, but some of them I certainly would. With Cody Bellinger, with Christian Yelich, there's going to be other cards to buy. I actually just picked up 2 big Cody Bellinger cards over the last 2 or 3 days. And I said he was the biggest fraud here, but I found that I paid prices of 3 weeks ago, and Bellinger's big price spike was within the last 2 weeks. With Trout, a lot of his cards have increased 40 to 50% over the last 4 months. So you're not going to find a lot with Trout. And the last prudent move I'd recommend is buying sealed wax of these key flagship products that we talked about with the Big 4. All right, guys, Filmington out.